So, Chris, why don't you begin? You'll have to keep letting people in, unfortunately.
No, I don't. Everybody can get in. I'm going to mute everybody while we do the initial presentation. And then when we get to the question and answer period, we'll lift off the mute and then remute during the meditation. So I'm going to mute everybody now so we knock out the background noise. And I just have to open Marilyn up here. 1 second. There's Marilyn. Okay. All right, Mara, can you say something? Make sure you're open.
I'm open.
Okay, great. All right, everybody. Once again, welcome. I'm going to start today, and I want to always remind everybody of the most fundamental things that we teach. And that is, first, that self-love is the greatest force of healing and creation on earth. So everything that we share fundamentally is to help people understand what that means in our everyday lives. Now, I have had an experience here of hearing that I was a messenger of a simple truth. And it is the only truth that is. And that truth, very simply, is that you are God. Every single one of us, every single being on earth encompasses this word, mankind's word, that we are God. And really what that word is, mankind's word, is that we all hold this word to kind of encapsulate everything we hold as the greatest, the most magnificent, the omni words, omniscient, all-knowing, all-powerful. So we use that word in this truth very simply because it is the most powerful mirror on earth for each of us to look into relative to how we love ourselves. And that choice is how we create everything in our lives. This one choice. How we relate to this truth, the only truth on earth, that each of us is perfect and magnificent as we are. What I have come to also understand is that after that one truth, everything is a choice or a judgment about a choice. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about choice, because that is the most fundamental act that each of us takes all the time, with our thoughts, with our words, and ultimately with our actions. And all of those choices are about one thing. They are about how we are choosing to relate, how we're choosing to love all that we are. That's why that mirror, when we hold it up, and the mirror is that we are perfect and magnificent just as we are, is so powerful to look into and then choose how are we, each of us, going to relate to that truth that we are perfect and magnificent. How are we going to love ourselves? Now, I want to talk about what happens in our human experience of choice. And what happens is that we choose many times what I call choice as desire. And I want to have everyone understand today that it is choice as action. Choice as action that manifests our lives. So it is very important to look at all of the choices you're making throughout the day, throughout your life, and spend time really being truthful with yourself about whether you are making those choices because that's how you want your life to be. That's how you desire it to be. So for instance, someone can be without work and they want to have a new job, or they could have a job and they could not want that job and they could want something different. And so they could be going through their life telling their family and themselves that, I really don't like my job. I just don't know why I'm in this job, et cetera, why I stay. But they say to everybody they want a different job. They want a different career. They want to be doing something different. That's what they're saying. But for the heart, which for those of you who know me, that's the word I use for soul. For the heart, for the soul, it is your choice as action that guides the soul to really what your true choice is. I call it where the rubber meets the road. You must look at your choices as action, because the heart, the soul, watches what you are choosing and in a sense follows along and says, oh, this is what will give that person joy. Oh, this is what, they're wanting. But if you are just staying in choice as desire, the soul doesn't know. The heart doesn't know. So as an act of love for yourself, because remember, every act you are taking is a choice of how you are loving yourself. As an act of love for yourself, it is those actions that matter. So I always say to people, if you are telling the world you want something different, let's say a new career, a new job, I will always ask you, what have you done recently about that? Have you sent out resumes? Have you called someone to try to network? Have you done something? That's where the heart knows then your choice of love for yourself. And it will then manifest. It will manifest options for you. Now, what I have seen throughout the years that I have been working with people is oftentimes there are reasons we stay in desire, choice as desire. And the reason most fundamentally is because in order to let go of where we are now and to cross to a new shore, we have to be willing to risk. We have to be willing to risk that we may not get there, or we may lose what we have. So choice as action is often a difficult step for people because it is the step of first risk. But it is what tells the heart your choice of how you will love who you are. Mara, do you want to jump in?
Yes, I want to talk about how we make choices during a time of stress, okay? 100%, every choice you make creates the next moment of your life. Now, we're all living in a challenging moment on Earth. We're all in our own homes. We go out rarely, if at all. And we have a lot of fear because of the media, because of what we hear on the news, because we may know people who are ill. It is the choice of how you react to the world around you that matters. So it simplifies it a little bit. So you get bad news about something and you react to it. You may react in anger, you may react in pain of one type or another. It doesn't matter, that's okay. As human beings, we are going to have all kinds of emotions, and we have to allow ourselves to have those emotions. It is the choice to hold on to that pain that extends pain, that extends an experience of pain. It is understanding that it's okay to get angry. It is okay to be spiritual. Does not mean you're always in a place of everything is wonderful, but to take that emotion and then to be able to release it, and we will work on that today, to be able to release that anger and then turn it into something positive for yourself, because as you change yourself, you change everything around you. It is an act of self-love to acknowledge everything you feel, but not hold on to that which does not honor your joy. or your love. So my mother called me this morning. Not a good morning to talk to my mother. She was very miserable. She was just in a place of great pain. And I said to her, you have a choice, Mom. You can acknowledge that you have a wonderful life. You're in a comfortable home. You have friends who call you all day long. You get to see your great-grandchildren multiple times a week. You can make those choices to focus on, or you can focus on what you're reading in the newspaper or what somebody else is going through. It's okay to feel bad, but then it's not okay to hold that bad and carry it with you into every moment, into every conversation, into everything we do. Now, Chris also talked for a moment about action, taking action. And I have an exercise to share with you that we are always worrying about tomorrow. Will I have a job when this is over? Will I have enough money? Will I be healthy? Will my family be healthy? We're always in a place of worry. So the exercise is called the power of why. Chris has shared it with many of you before. I'm going to re-emphasize it. The power of why is just saying over and over again, like a mantra, why am I so healthy? Why do I feel so strong? Why is my office going to be a great place to return to? Why do I feel such joy in all moments? Why is everything wonderful happening? And by talking that way, it has to be in the present. Why is this? Not why will this be, but why is this true? That changes the energy of what you are concerned about. Why is there money sitting in my bank account that I didn't even realize? Why does my mother call me in a great mood sometimes? Why? It sounds silly, but Neelam brought up earlier, before most of you were on the line, that her daughter worries. She works in the hospital, right, Neelam? And she worries about getting sick. Understandably, I can't even fathom the sacrifice these doctors and nurses have in this world. But if her daughter were to start her day every day and say, why am I going to be in total health in all moments? Why am I going to help heal these people? Why am I safe from the coronavirus? Why? As though it is the truth, because it is in this moment. By acknowledging the truth, it is.
I want to jump in on that for a moment before we switch to questions. What Marilyn is really referencing with that powerful exercise is the truth that we are each living all simultaneously at this. It already exists. It's not that, you know, the concept of yesterday and tomorrow is mankind's creation of linear time. And this is a very difficult concept. But the part of it I want to emphasize from Marilyn's exercise is the reason the exercise is so powerful is because if you think of everything existing simultaneously already, so whatever your, it could be your health, it could be your wealth, it could be something else. You have, through your choices of how you love, chosen to experience one aspect of that in this moment. But all the other variations of that already are in existence at the same time. It's just your choices of how you love. You're choosing a piece of it right now in this moment. So the exercise does something very important, because so many times when people do visualizations things like that. They're doing them from a place of believing they don't already have that experience, or they're not having that experience. And so what that does is it sends a message to your heart. The way you're loving yourself is from a place of lack. Because if you visualize something that you want in the future as if it doesn't exist, what you're saying to yourself is, I don't have this now. I lack this. And so that's what really the message to the heart is. So the why exercise acknowledges that that already exists now. And that is about ultimately learning self-love, is learning to live in the absolute presence of all that you are. So it's a very powerful exercise. Encourage people to use it. Watch your words very, very carefully to acknowledge things as is rather than going to be. So maybe now we'll open up. Mara, are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna unmute, and then if people want to ask questions, please just kind of raise your hand and we'll try to call people, and we'll spend some time answering questions here. Just give me a second. Let me get everybody unmuted. Okay, all right. And if anybody has significant background noise, if you could mute yourself, that might be helpful. Is there anyone who has a question?
You have some people still muted.
I do? They must be muted themselves. I unmuted all.
Okay.
Anybody have a question?
I'll have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Judy.
At the beginning, you were talking about desire and action. So are you saying that we need to look at our desires and turn them into action and not have them always just be, I want that, I want that, I want that, and it's out there, we'll never receive it. But if we take an action, then we can bring it into our lives. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, very much. Look at your desires. And what I often do with people is I say, I want to drill down. So tell me what action you take toward that desire. I'll write that first one down. And then I'll say, let's go again and write that down. So you want to drill down, because it's very easy to very simply say, okay, I did that. Okay, let's keep going. What else? What else? Get yourself to take active steps toward what you believe you have not yet manifested in your life.
Now, is a mantra, if you put all of those desires into the mantra, why do I have this and that, is that enough, or do you need to take other action?
Well, it depends on what it is, actually, Judy. For instance, if you want to buy a car, but you feel that you don't have enough money to buy a car, you have to say, why do I have this beautiful car sitting in my driveway? That's part of that energy, right? But the other part, the action part that Chris is talking about, is you sit down, you look at your finances, you figure out what you can afford every month, you do your homework, you take action. So by taking action and by combining it with why do I have a car, all of a sudden things start to fall into place. It's a very interesting manifestation of our power. We have the power to manifest whatever we desire, but we have to combine it with taking action. You can talk and talk and talk about things, but until you really stop and make it happen, everything is just talk.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm going to mute everybody for a second here, and then I'm going to talk about this a little bit. It's a lot of noise there. Okay, there's some noise. What we'll do is, if you end up wanting to ask a question in a moment, I'll open you up, because there's a lot of background noise. I want to make sure everybody can hear. I think one aspect of this that's very important to share is something I say, which is God is of life. And so you might find it interesting that very quickly here, what we're talking about is all the choices that you're making about finding a different job or having a car, or, God is of life. And what has happened across the earth in a quite massive way is the separation of spirituality from the every moment of existence. And I say it that way because it is the truth. When I say God is of life, it is every comment you make during the day, every thought you have, every action you take, what you do with your time, right? And what has happened across the earth plane is this massive separation of humankind from the belief of the spirituality of what God is. And that has been embodied in many, many religious systems across the earth plane. And it has reinforced a message that we are not God, that we are not perfect, and that there is this place that of spirituality through which we will manifest our lives. If we serve God, if we pray enough, if we do X or Y, if we walk across coals that are burning on fire, we will somehow manifest some connection with a divinity or a divine part of ourselves that is greatest. And what I want most to share with you with this is that reclaiming that separation is so joyful, because through your love for yourself, through your recognition that you are perfect as you are in every moment, and then reclaiming that your power as God is lived through every action, every thought, every word that you speak every day, is the key to the most glorious experience of your truth. And so that's why when we're talking today, we're talking about things that may appear mundane. But there's nothing mundane. Everything is divine. Everything is this glorious choice of how you are choosing to celebrate you, to love all that you are. Now, if anybody has any questions, I'll open you up. Neelam, okay, just a sec, Neelam, I'll open you up here. Let's do it like this. Okay, Neelam.
So, it was really so profound with what you and Madam spoke. But coming to you, Chris, you just said that we have to constantly reclaim that power within us and come out of that separation that we are not gods. I just want to bring it up that it's so hard to do that. It's so hard to do that. We are so conditioned to praying and going outside of ourselves. Repeatedly, I bring myself to the fact that yes, I'm equally powerful and I can, but it's so hard. I just want to ask you that how do we do that? Just the self-love? It's so hard again. We can tend to get back to the praying and then pray and going outside of ourselves, and then then it's hard. It's like in an autopilot mode. We go back to that old mode and then get back
Right.
to the pattern.
So you are not wrong that we have been, you use the word almost conditioned to separate from this truth. I want to use your question as a way to share with people one of the 3 ways we create everything is with our words. And Neelam's question encapsulated her choice as God in those words to say, it is hard to do this. The words matter, okay? They are a choice as action. And I try to say to people, learn to pay attention when you feel a thought going from your mind to your mouth before it comes out, and ask yourself, is this a loving thing to say? Is this how I want to tell myself, tell my heart, tell my soul how my life will be? And so very simply, in the words that it is hard, it becomes a choice. We don't where no one teaches us this, so we don't know this. But the minute you start to pay attention to what you're saying and the words you're using, you will change your experience. So I'll very quickly teach you an exercise before we shift to the meditation. That's also important. I call it the giant eraser. All right? Just an average word for an incredibly powerful tool. And that's something that each of us have as God, which is when we pay attention to our choices, we can change them. And the way we change them is through a very simple 3-step process. We don't let anything go in our life here on earth unless we embrace it with love. And that's really important. You don't want anything go unless you embrace it with love. It stays with you because you've chosen it as God as a way to learn. So the simple way to change your choices is to first acknowledge you made it. So you would, 3-step process, you would go, I, Neelam, as God, honor that I just chose to say that it's going to be hard, or it is hard to reclaim the truth that I am God. That's step 1. You acknowledge as God that you made the choice. Step 2, you say, but in this moment, I choose to release that choice. I choose as God to release that choice and learn from it in perfection. Because your heart brings you to each moment, always asking you to learn how you're choosing to love. So you choose in the second step to let it go. I'll learn from it at the perfect time. Don't have to spend a lot of time now on it. Third step, make a new choice. So I, Neelam, as God, choose from this moment forward to know that I have always been God and that I have this total knowing fully manifested in my experience. So I choose a new experience. So that is the active tool of paying attention to your choices in every moment, your words, your actions, and your thoughts, and deciding as God if that's how you want to love yourself, or taking the giant eraser, embracing them with love, letting them go, and make a new choice. Is there anyone else who has a question? Okay, go ahead. Sarah, let me just get you open. Give me a second here. I have to find you here, Sarah. There you are. Go ahead, Sarah.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So talking about moving from, desire into action, what I've found is probably the hardest part is just, I don't know if it's a cycle of fear, but it's the self-doubt. I know that there's things that I'm going to risk, but how can I break? I know we touched on it last time, but breaking that self-doubt and that fear-based thinking has been the biggest challenge, because I know what I need to do, but actually moving past it has been very, very difficult. So.
Okay, Mary, hold on. I'm going to open you for that. Let me get to you. Okay, go ahead, Mary.
Thanks. Sarah, when you know you want something, but you see boulders in the way, right? If I do this, then maybe this will happen. And if I do this, maybe that will happen. It is all part of the creation of, well, yeah, if you see that it will happen, it could happen, it will happen. But if you have an end goal, whatever it is, for each of us it is different, and you keep your eye on the prize, and you use the tools that over time we will keep sharing with you, like, why am I, whatever your goal is, or can I have this, or do I have this? Actually, it's not can I have, but do I have? Those boulders slowly go away because you're empowering yourself to live in that moment that is in existence already, but you are stepping away from in your fears that all these other things may happen, but they may not happen, right? There's that same, it does take courage. I'm not going to say it doesn't. And it does take constant self-talk But when you know that you are powerful as a being who creates every moment of your experience, and you'll have side trails that take you into despair from time to time and all of that, that still is part of you understanding that you can bring yourself back to center and have everything you desire, from health to wealth to joy to everything that is just for you. You can't do it for anyone else, but you can do it for yourself. It will come, but it takes practice and time. And Chris's steps, the 3-step process of releasing thoughts and then replacing those thoughts with the opposite, is the most powerful tool you could use. So we can go through that again.
Okay, we should probably switch over, Mare, to the
Are
meditation.
there any final questions? Okay.
I'm gonna remute everybody and then just take Marilyn off and we'll get started.
Well, I'm going to change the meditation that I had planned for today and focus on this so that you have a tool that you can use throughout the next 2 weeks, okay? Because it seems to be grabbing everybody energetically here.
Okay, just a sec, Mare. I'm gonna mute you for a moment, Mare. Hold on. Let me get you unmuted now. Okay, Mare, you're open.
Okay, so everybody take a sip of water, make yourself really comfortable. We are going to meditate in a moment as soon as I can get this music started without a commercial. All right. I ask you to inhale deeply and hold it. And as soon as you're comfortable, let it go. And once again, inhale deeply as far as you can. Hold it for as long as you can. And when you are ready, just let it go. And again, one more time, inhale all the love that you are. Inhale deeply. Hold it, let it fill you, and release all fear and pain when you are ready. Now breathe normally, gently. And imagine you are in the most beautiful place upon the earth that feeds your soul. For some of us, it might be a beautiful white sand beach. For others, it might be deep in a forest. It might be near the top of a mountain. Or you might find yourself sitting next to a beautiful waterfall. Find your place and sit or lie comfortably in this beautiful space. And wherever you are, pay attention to what you hear. Perhaps you hear water flowing by, or waves, or a waterfall. Perhaps you hear leaves rustling in the breeze, or birds chirping. You could feel the breeze upon you, and you could feel the comfort of your body in this beautiful place. Now I ask each of you individually to think about something you wish to release. Maybe you're holding fear, or anger, or pain, or even health issues, and bring it forth into your thoughts in this beautiful place. And I would like you to take that thought and put it in a bubble. Imagine it coming out of your heart and filling a bubble. And when you're ready and that bubble is filled with whatever thought that limits you, as the bubble is filled, let it go and watch it float away. Allow it to leave you. And do it again with another thought. Fill the bubbles of limitation in all moments and all parts of your world, of your life. And fill the bubbles and watch them float away, knowing that they will be totally disseminated into the universe and not touch you ever again. All blocks and boulders. It may take you a moment. I will wait. Think of them all and let them go. Let them go with love. Let them go in peace. And allow your body to feel the rest of not holding on to your pain. Let your body feel the lightness of releasing all that holds you down. And as you continue to release these bubbles, what do you choose to replace them with? Imagine filling your body with absolute love. Inhale deeply and pull in love to replace your fear, your pain. Feel that love enter every part of you, every cell vibrating in that love. Every cell knowing that you are love. Feel yourself vibrate. Inhale deeply again and fill your body with absolute health and healing. You have released the fears. Now replace them with knowing that you are whole and healthy and perfect in this moment. Touch every part of your body within, every organ, every bone, every cell, with this knowing of absolute health and healing. Fill yourself with every breath. Let every cell vibrate now in love and healing. Now we bring in peace. Inhale peace. Inhale peace and feel your heart relax. Feel your muscles relax. Feel your shoulders release. Breathe in peace and feel your body grow heavy as it no longer has to hold on to the tension, but it grows heavy in its connection to the earth and to love and to healing and to the now moment of your life. Breathe in abundance, abundance of all things that you call forth. Call forth abundance of all the joys that you desire. Call forth the abundance, knowing that as you call it forth, so it is. Breathe it in. Feel your body fill with that power. Feel the release of all doubt and fear, and let those go into the bubbles that leave you. Feel the power of you. I call forth that you breathe in all knowing. You really do know all that you need to know in any moment. Open yourself up to knowing all that you are. Breathe in the knowing that you are absolutely magnificent and perfect just as you are. Accept each moment of your life in peace, in love, and just know that there is always a moment to learn and then to grow. You really always know all that you need to know. Just believe in all that you are. Trust and love. Nothing more powerful than loving yourself. And as you are here in this beautiful place, vibrating in love and peace and health and abundance and all-knowing, you can return here anytime and bring that forth to allow you to look at all moments of your life in acceptance and love. Be powerful in each moment. Choose your joy in each moment and be all that you are in each moment. Feel yourself in this beautiful space that you have created. Be aware again of your environment, of the breeze and the birds and the sounds around you. Visit here often, for it is a way for us to get out of our space and to be in the world and to be in our power and to find our joy and our peace. Always revisit the place that speaks to your soul, speaks to your heart, and releases all that you do not wish to hold on to. And when you are ready, I invite you back with great love and honor for sharing this moment. Thank you. Chris, you want to unmute everybody? Thank you. Chris and I truly, truly are honored to share this time with each of you. Are there any final thoughts, questions, something you wish us to address?
Yeah, I had a question. I want to know whether desire arises from a sense of lack.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I understand the question, Mara. Let me mute here and I'll answer so we can. Okay, the question was whether desire is rooted from a place of lack. You know, since we've not been taught on earth that we're already all and have all experiences of everything simultaneously already in existence, we learn instead to separate what we experience now from what we feel like we don't have. Maybe that is the word desire, in the English language. And in the moment we see it as something we don't have, your question is correct in that it is felt in our heart as if we lack it. We don't already have it. So that is why taking the moment to embrace with love all the understandings you have, that only what you see is what you have. Wrap it in love, let it go, and choose to know that as the all that you are as God, all exists already for you. And in that moment, you can address the core experience that you describe as lack that gets manifest in our lifetime with the word desire, and change it.
So the way I see desire is the word want. I desire something, I want something, right? The power of why is, why do I have it? Not why do I want it? Why do I desire it? So it puts it in a different category. What you desire is out there, and what you have is in here. So always think in terms of the present moment as though it is, because it is. But to experience it, we have to know that, we have to believe it, and we have to create it.
All right, Mary, we should probably wrap up. As Marilyn said, we sincerely thank each and every one of you as an active choice to have chosen to love yourself by joining together here this morning, and letting us, share with you and with each other the powerful truths of our experiences of God here on earth. And we will return 2 weeks from now, Sunday, 2 Sundays from now at the same time. And we would invite all of you to join us again. So
I also want to invite you, if you have any further questions, you have our email addresses. Why don't you send us an email? We'll connect. We will work together, okay? The more of us who know who we are in our power, who experience peace, joy, and self-love in all moments, the more powerful we are, the more we spread that love across the globe. And believe me, we are in a time where we need to spread that joy. So be well, everybody. Have a glorious day.
bye, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.